What happens when a superpower's navy is blinded at sea, without a single shot being fired? The Black Sea, usually calm, erupted in tension when the United States Sixth Fleet sent its destroyer straight toward the Crimean Bridge. Officially, it was a routine drill. Unofficially, satellite images exposed a calculated move. Not training, but testing boundaries. Moscow reacted instantly. Within moments, Russian aircraft filled the skies, electronic warfare systems activated, and security alerts pulsed through the region. No missiles flew, no engines roared. Instead, a silent duel of nerves and technology unfolded in the electromagnetic shadows. For Russia, inaction meant surrendering credibility in one of the world's most contested waters. For Washington, success would have meant unchallenged access and a rewritten balance of power in the Black Sea, all in a single night. But the Americans found their systems jammed, surrounded by invisible barriers, isolated from command. This wasn't just a naval incident. It was a new kind of escalation. Electronic dominance now spoke louder than missiles, redrawing boundaries not on maps, but across the spectrum. How did this confrontation spiral so rapidly? What are the implications for global security and the future of naval warfare? To understand how this crisis escalated, we need to follow the chain of decisions on both sides. Each move raised the risks and the stakes. The Black Sea has long been a chessboard for global powers. Yet this time, the familiar game veered into uncharted territory. For years, Western warships, especially American and NATO vessels, had cruised these waters, testing Russian resolve. Moscow would issue stern warnings, the West would respond with calm defiance, and both sides would step back before reaching the edge. But after the eruption of war in Ukraine, the rules shifted. The Crimean Bridge became not only a vital artery for Russian forces, but also a glaring symbol, one Moscow vowed to defend at any cost. Now, every Western approach to the bridge was a direct challenge, a line drawn in the surf. Recent setbacks for Western military aid in Ukraine, along with high-profile failures of advanced air defenses, placed Washington in an uncomfortable spotlight. The United States needed to reaffirm its strength. Sending a destroyer toward the Crimean Bridge was a deliberate show of resolve. This time, Russia's response was anything but routine. Moscow deployed cutting-edge electronic warfare and air units, signaling a readiness to escalate beyond words. The world watched, tense, as both sides edged toward confrontation. Everything hung by a thread: regional stability, global alliances, and the very reputations of the superpowers. A single misstep could ignite a conflict rippling far beyond these shores. But as the American destroyer neared Russian waters, the script flipped. What happened next would permanently alter expectations and raise the stakes for all. The world held its breath as a new, unpredictable phase began. What unfolded would test not only military might, but the limits of political nerve. What if a warship could be defeated not by missiles, but by mere keystrokes? In the Black Sea, that nightmare became real. An American destroyer, bristling with confidence, advanced toward the Crimean Bridge, expecting nothing more than a diplomatic stare-down. Instead, it sailed straight into a silent ambush. Russian warships blocked the path, fighter jets prowled above, and, most crucially, waves of invisible electronic warfare swept the sea. The instant the American vessel crossed into Russia's protected waters, the air shimmered with jamming signals. In seconds, every radar screen aboard the destroyer went black. Navigation spun into chaos. Error messages blinked across consoles. Communications died, leaving the crew stranded in digital silence, cut off from their fleet, unable to call for help. In mere minutes, the ship was rendered blind and mute, its advanced systems sabotaged by unseen Russian hands. No shots fired, no alarms blaring. Yet Russia had seized control, holding the American destroyer hostage to their technological might. The message rang out. In these waters, Moscow set the rules, and raw force now wore a digital mask. The stakes could not have been higher. One wrong move might have ignited all-out war. Instead, Russia unveiled a new kind of dominance. Electronic warfare was no longer a supporting act. It had become the main event, rewriting the playbook for deterrence and control at sea. Around the world, leaders watched as American naval supremacy was shaken, if only for a moment. Suddenly, alliances, reputations, and the very meaning of security in the Black Sea hung in doubt. The shockwaves spread instantly, pushing strategists everywhere to reconsider what real power means, and how dangerously exposed even the strongest nations can be in a war fought by invisible hands. But the confrontation did not end there. As the American ship limped away, the world braced for the next unpredictable move. As the world watched the mighty American Navy quietly withdraw from the Black Sea, one question echoed everywhere. Who truly lost, and what did everyone else learn? Though the retreat was discreet, headlines flared from Brussels to Beijing, igniting fierce debate and uneasy speculation. Military experts conceded Russia's extraordinary technological finesse and unnerving discipline. Moscow did not answer provocation with threats or escalation. Instead, Russian electronic warfare left the American destroyer blind, forcing a retreat. No shots fired, but reputations wounded. For Washington, this was not just tactical embarrassment, it was a blow to American prestige. Lawmakers and generals demanded urgent explanations. How could the world's most advanced navy be rendered powerless so swiftly? The ripples spread far beyond Washington. Within NATO and across Allied capitals, doubts began to grow. If the legendary American fleet can be neutralized in moments, what hope remains for smaller nations under the American shield? Faith in old guarantees faltered, and leaders everywhere reconsidered what they thought they knew. Meanwhile, Russia's measured response raised a stark new standard. Deterrence now rests on proven capability, not empty threats. Red lines are no longer merely words. They are enforced by technological dominance and calm resolve. Now, national reputations and alliance unity are at risk. If confidence in American might crumbles, alliances may fracture, partners could seek new deals, and the global balance may tilt in unforeseen directions. What practical lessons emerge from this showdown, and how must the world adapt to a new era, where technology and resolve redefine the rules? In the aftermath, global leaders scramble to reassess their security doctrines. The world must now grapple with a reality where technological edge and strategic nerve can swiftly overturn the old order. In this new era, technology, not sheer firepower, draws the red lines. Nations can no longer move unchecked. Every action is tracked and, if necessary, countered in the blink of an eye with cutting-edge tools. The rules of engagement are shifting beneath our feet. No longer does quantity guarantee victory. It is the quality, the razor's edge of innovation, that now decides battles. The recent Black Sea confrontation proved this. A single, precise electronic warfare strike left a state-of-the-art warship helpless, all without a missile being launched. This event issues a stark warning. Adapt quickly, or risk obsolescence. Military doctrines must evolve with the times. Clinging to outdated beliefs about warfare leads only to strategic blunders and wasted lives. Viewers, beware. The true battlefields now lie in cyberspace, in invisible electromagnetic domains, where victories are silent and defeats catastrophic. Understanding these arenas is no longer optional. It is essential for grasping how power truly operates today. To ignore these lessons is to gamble with national survival and global order. The stakes have never been higher, and the room for error has never been smaller. As this story closes, leaders everywhere face a stark choice: innovate and respect new frontiers, or risk being outmaneuvered in a world irreversibly changed by technology. But how did this confrontation unfold, and what exactly tipped the balance? To understand, we must revisit a tense moment off the Crimean coast. Power is not merely who stands on the stage, but who scripts the play in the shadows. In the Black Sea, the familiar choreography of dominance fractured. There was no storm of gunfire, just a duel of nerves and invisible, silent weapons. The lesson is stark. In modern conflict, control rarely announces itself. It is quiet, precise, and often undetected. Russia showed it could blind a rival without a single missile, leaving even the most advanced American warship adrift and uncertain. For generations, nations believed that presence, fleets, flags, patrols, was enough to impose order. Now, the true measure of power is who can disrupt and deny, often before anyone realizes the rules have changed. The battlefield has shifted. A single signal can outweigh 1,000 shells. The stakes are immense. Those who trust in outdated doctrines face irrelevance or worse, disaster. The very meaning of military strength and alliance credibility is being rewritten in real time. Leaders who fail to adapt may see their influence, built over decades, swept away in a moment. This was no mere embarrassment. It was a warning flare for the future of global security. The winners of tomorrow's conflicts will be those who master the silent battles, shaping peace or chaos before the world can catch up.